We are so excited to start a new monthly series on the Morning Blend called Healthy Living with Dr. Jennifer Arnold from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.
Yep, and today she joins us to discuss how we can embrace differences and prevent bullying. This is such a hot topic, but first I gotta say, are you settling in?
We are. In fact, we just unpacked a bunch of boxes this weekend, so we're feeling like we actually live here now.
Okay, good.
It's great.
Good. Well, one of the things, that's why we're so happy to be part of your show, is because we know how much you love kind of being a part of the community as well. And let's talk about this, the bullying month. I know this is something that's kind of very close to your heart as well, and just kind of getting the word out on maybe what's normal, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this month is National Bullying Prevention Month, and I think now more than ever, the word is out there that bullying is not okay, and we need to be tuned in to our kids and looking out for the signs and symptoms. And, you know, what's really not okay is just anything that you say or do to somebody else, whether it's in person, online, right, with cyberbullying, that it belittles them or makes them not feel good or, you know, not respected as a person. And so we have to embrace our differences today more than ever.
And I will say, you know, I'm interested to talk with you not from like a medical standpoint, but also from a mom standpoint.
Yeah.
You have two little ones yourself. So what kind of, you know, advice do you give to make sure your kids don't bully and include everybody, but also when they're feeling bullied? Because it's both messages that you need to deliver, especially when they're younger.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's the hard part as a parent today, because there is this awareness, but then how do you have those difficult conversations? And, you know, with Will and Zoe, they're different, so they're at risk for being bullied, just like any child is, even if you don't have an obvious difference. And I don't want them to ever be the bullier. So we do talk about it a lot. In fact, we've started using books to help discuss the important topic, like kid-friendly books that talk about bullying, differences, embracing differences. So, you know, Will and Zoe are now at that age. I would say most kids around 6 years of age, give or take, start to identify differences in either themselves or other kids. And so that's a good time to start introducing those topics, nighttime before bed or over dinner. And so I think the important thing for me and you know, for anyone is talk to them about it frequently. Don't make it, you know, something that they don't feel like they can talk to you about. And so I ask them, hey, is anyone, you know, saying anything to you that makes you unhappy or sad? And then I talk to them about what things to look out for. And then I talk to them about always being nice to other kids. And we, you know, one of our books is this month is actually National Dwarfism Awareness Month, which is a great time to read this book that we talk about being a little person and how that's different. And then in the book, it talks about all differences that other kids can have. And so I think just having that open line of communication is key.
Were you bullied growing up? I mean, what is kind of your perspective, you know, from you know, kind of your story, your background?
I would say, looking back now, I was bullied. I think at the time we didn't call it bullying. And, you know, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, you know, what is bullying, I think is much more broad today than it was maybe when I was a kid, when we were kids growing up. My experience was more the being excluded. So bullying because all of a sudden, you know, because of my difference, it wasn't cool to hang out with, right? So going out on dates or even just a slumber party or being in a clique, you know, girls at the time, it was called, you know, you just weren't in that clique. And I think really, essentially, it's a type of bullying when you're purposely in that group of friends one day and then the next day you're left out.
So what's your message then for maybe families who are dealing with this? Because here you are, you have your own TV show doing wonderful, your own successful family. I mean, what do you, for those families who are dealing this right now? Any message of hope or encouragement?
Absolutely. I think today it's better than it was when we were kids. And so my goal is that every parent really is looking out for signs or symptoms in their child that they may be bullied, and to talk to their pediatrician. It's a great resource. They have a lot of information they can share and they can also help you learn how to deal with if your child either is potentially maybe a bullier or is being bullied. Either way, I think it's all about that communication. So my message is that we're talking to our kids about it. The more we talk about it, the more information that they have, knowledge is power, then that can help to hopefully empower them to be able to not be afraid to talk to their teacher, not be afraid to talk to their parents, talk to a grown-up if something like this is happening in their lives, and to be, you know, to not be afraid to seek help. That's the most important. Talk to your doctor, because they have a lot of resources. So, you know, my husband always says, I got a doctor in the house. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes sometimes we may still have to talk to our pediatrician too.
Good messages. I like that empowerment.
I know. Well, what else do you have going on while we have you here?
Oh my goodness! Oh, so much. We are, in the middle of filming. We're gonna be in the middle of the season airing. The kids are in school and loving it. They are getting used to their new home, swimming a lot. I've been thinking about, maybe we need to start getting out of the water because it's all around us. We need to do a little more of that. So.
Well, good. Well, we can't wait to have you back next month. I think we're going to talk about toy safety, right? Is that what we're kind of thinking about for next month?
That's an important one,
Yes,
especially
it
around the
is.
holidays.
They're here.
I'm still on trying to childproof my house. That's overwhelming enough. I
Wait
can't
till you
even
get
think about
little
the
tiny toys
Yes.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, your little one's probably walking around now.
Oh, she's getting close. Dr. Jen. Well, thank you so much for
know.
coming in. You're
We love
always
when you're here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you again soon. Stay right there.
Absolutely.